Hello guys, how are you?
I'm Hardeep Singh. Welcome back to your own YouTube channel. IELTS updates and recent exams. For more updates related to recent IELTS exam writing test topics, listening, reading, practice test, and speaking, you got guesswork. Please, guys, participate in everyday listening and reading practice test to achieve your desired band score in your actual IELTS exam. Please hit the like and subscribe button. Press the bell icon for the upcoming notifications. Don't forget like, subscribe and share my YouTube channel and my Facebook page, IELTS updates and recent exams.
Part 1.
You will hear a man who works as an operator in a call center for an energy company, talking to a young woman who is a new customer. First, you have some time to look at questions 1 to 6. Listen carefully and answer questions 1 to 6.
Good morning. This is NEO Power. How can I help you?
Hello. Yes, I'm about to move into a house and I need to get the gas connected.
Do you mean you want to get the gas switched on, or does your house need to be connected to our system?
Just switched on, I imagine. It's not a new house and the heating system installed runs on gas. Am I talking to the right person?
Yes, you are. Let me check if you're in the system. Where are you calling from?
Derby, but the house is in Leeds.
Okay then. What's the address?
Hang on, let me check. Yes, it's in Friar Street. Friar.
Okay, Friar Street. What's the street number?
16.
Yes, there is a connection there. It was disconnected 6 months ago.
Well, we bought the house 3 months ago, so I suppose that's about right. Can we do the reconnection over the phone?
Are you an existing customer?
I don't understand what you mean. I'm calling to get connected.
Yes, but do you have your gas with us in your current house?
I don't know. The account isn't in my name. I'm living with my parents at the moment.
Okay, so we need to start from scratch. You do get a 10% discount for the first year because you are a new customer.
Great. I chose this company because you have the best deals at the moment. But with a discount, it will really make an even bigger difference.
Excellent. Can you give me a full name and surname, please?
Yes, it's Miriam Barton.
Miriam Barron.
No, it's Barton. Barton.
Can I have your date of birth, please?
Yes, it's June 5th, 1995.
Now we have to have some security questions, just in case you call again for anything.
Like my mother's maiden name or the name of my cat?
We don't do those. They're not secure enough.
Okay, what do you need?
Usually we ask for the surname of your first teacher and the street you lived on as a child.
Okay, but I can't see how either of those are any more secure. What was her surname? Mrs. Rogers.
Okay, Rogers. And the street you lived on?
Oh, you want both? Okay, the same one I live on now, Riley Street. Is that okay?
Great, thanks. Now I just need your email address.
It's miriam95@gomail.com.
Got it. That's fine. Now, when we finish this call, you need to check your email. I've sent you a link to our website. You can finish the registration on there.
I thought you said we could do everything over the phone.
Yes, we can arrange the connection, but you need to agree to the terms online. It saves time for the phone operators, so we can deal with as many people as possible.
Before you hear the rest of the conversation, you have some time to look at questions 7 to 10. Now, listen and answer questions 7 to 10.
Now, we need to arrange the connection. Is there anyone living in the house at the moment?
No, it's empty. I plan to move in next month. I'm starting a job at the University of Leeds, so that's why I've bought a house there.
We need to get access to the meter to start the gas service. I see from the information I have here on my screen that it's in the back garden. Is that correct?
Yes, and it's completely surrounded by the house and another wall, so the technician would need to be let in. It shouldn't be a problem, though. I can be there if necessary. I have to paint the kitchen anyway. It's a couple of hours' drive, though, so you have to give me a time to be there.
We will have someone in the area on Monday, the 15th of June.
What time would that be?
I'm afraid I can't give a time, only a day. Would someone be able to be at the house on that day?
I can't do that, I'm afraid. I have an exam that day. What I can do is, I ask the next-door neighbour. She'll let the technician in. They just have to know to go and knock on her door. She's in number 18 and her name is Mrs. Richards. She's always at home during the week because she works from home and she already has a key from me. She's done this kind of thing for me before.
OK, so she's in number 18. I'll need a telephone number for her, though, in case she doesn't answer the door.
OK, just a sec. It's 367 555 921. That's 555 921.
367 555 921. Thank you. Now, if you complete the contract online, we'll get a technician there on Monday. Welcome to NEO Power.
Thanks for your help. Goodbye.
That is the end of part 1.
You now have half a minute to check your answers.
Now turns to part 2.
You will hear a man who works for the local council talking to citizens who want to help the environment. First, you have some time to look at questions 11 to 15. Now listen carefully and answer questions 11 to 15.
Good evening. I'm John Lake, and I work as an environmental officer for the local council for this town. We have had numerous requests from citizens on how they can do their bit to combat climate change, and from the number of you that have come along to this environmental education meeting tonight, particularly the number of young people I can see here, there are many more of you interested than we had thought. It's difficult to know exactly what to do to help to save the planet, but I can assure you we can make a difference, especially if we have large groups of people who are willing to work together. On that note, the Council has quite a few initiatives that you might not know about. Firstly, we have a tree planting program that's been going on for the last 3 years. There are 2 ways you can be of help here. Every Saturday afternoon, we plant trees in parks and community areas around the town. We only have about 20 people helping out at the moment, and we need more pairs of hands. Everybody is welcome to do something, from carrying and digging to planting and watering. We have been budgeted funds for thousands of trees, but we just haven't had the people power to get them all into the ground. If you are able to give up a few Saturday afternoons, we could get a lot more trees planted. The other thing is that we have almost as many trees that we are giving away to be planted on private property. They are all species that don't have the type of root systems that will ruin the foundations of your house and burst your water pipes as they grow. And there are various sizes and types, depending on the location. All it takes is a call to me, and someone from our team can come out and advise you what trees to plant and where they should go in your garden. Not only is our advisory service free of charge, but so are the trees.
Before you hear the rest of the recording, you have some time to look at questions 16 to 20. Now listen and answer questions 16 to 20.
We also have programs for insulating your houses, putting in solar panels, and moving over to electric vehicles. We can help you make these changes. Many of you worry about the food you are buying and want to buy more local products to have less impact on the environment. On Saturday mornings from September, we are starting up a new farmers' market in Broughton Square in the centre of town. The council is only charging stallholders minimum fees for selling their goods, and in return there is a general agreement that prices will be kept as low as possible. We are hoping that competitive pricing will attract a lot of sales, so it will be worth it for our local farmers. The benefit to you is that you can reduce your spending on fruit and vegetable and help the environment. We also want people to have their own stalls at the market. Empty your garages and cellars and sell things you don't use anymore, instead of throwing items in storage away. The next thing is something I have been receiving a lot of calls about, so we are starting a new program for it. People have been concerned about where they should put old clothes they want to get rid of. There are some donation bins around the town for various charities, and I suggest putting clothes that are still wearable in those. However, for old and damaged clothes, old curtains and towels, and any old fabrics you want to throw away, we are starting a pickup of these on the first Tuesday of every month. The clothing will be recycled to make new industrial materials for furniture, carpets, and insulation. Too many of these items are ending up in landfill or worse, being incinerated, and we need it to stop. People want to save water, so another thing is that from November, anyone who puts in a rainwater tank that catches rainwater from their roof will get a 5% reduction in their council water taxes for as long as the tank is in use. This includes people who already have a rainwater tank. I'll give you the link a bit later so you can make a declaration if you already have one installed.
That is the end of part 2.
You now have half a minute to check your answers.
Now turns to part 3.
You will hear a university tutor talking to 3 students about work placements they are about to do. First, you have some time to look at questions 21 to 25. Now listen carefully and answer questions 21 to 25.
Hello, my name is Anne Forster, and I'm your course supervisor for this year. You can call me Anne. Thank you for coming to see me, John. I already know you from class. And are you Catherine? Yes, thank you for agreeing to see us. This is Mark. Mark, John and I would like to talk to you about the field study we have to do for our company management course. Yes, I understand you are doing the study on fruit farmers, the fruit import company. I know that all three of you are due to take up your placement positions there next week. Has all that been organized?
Yes, we are all starting work at the company next week, but there's a slight problem. I'm going to be working at head office with the finance director. Mark is going to the warehouse, which is at a different site, and Fruit Farmers wants Catherine to travel to California with one of their import agents. I don't see how we are going to be able to work on any kind of report together. One, if we aren't all in the same country, and two, if we are working in three completely different sections of the company.
How do you feel about this, Catherine? I'm not as worried as John is about the distance between us. We can certainly keep in touch with conference calls and emails, but I do agree with him that it might not be too easy to agree on a study topic together if we are working in different areas of the business. I'm actually really looking forward to traveling to California. I've never been to the USA before. What do you think, Mark?
The topic of study is a bit of a problem, yes. Catherine and I are both working with the product itself, so we can easily find something in common to focus on. But I'm still trying to think of a way that we can connect John with the project. But my main concern is that if we are actually going to be doing work for the company, we might not have enough time to research for a project at all.
Well, that's part of the placement process. You do have to do some useful work for the company, so you'll have to find your own solution to that. Do you know what you are going to be doing in each of your placements?
I only know that I'm going to be working closely with the finance director. The 2 weeks that I'm going to be there will be the end of their fiscal year. So I imagine I will be preparing documentation for the shareholders and finalizing taxes for the year. It might be quite intense, but I'm certain the finance experience I get will be invaluable.
Without a doubt. I'm going to be just as run off my feet too, just in a different way. We'll be traveling around grape growers, checking the fruit coming off the vines, making sure it's packed and refrigerated correctly, and then helping with all the shipping and customs details from the port in Los Angeles.
I haven't been told what I'll be doing, just that my placement will be at the warehouse. So I suppose it will be warehousing and logistics based. It's actually pretty inconvenient for me, as the warehouse is 200 kilometers from here.
I understand the company has arranged for accommodation for you, Mark, so you are being well looked after. Anyway, you are all going to be seeing very different aspects of the functioning of the company. I think you should see this as an opportunity to really look into what the company's busiest time of year and analyze how they cope with the pressure.
Do you mean financial pressure?
I was thinking more in terms of human resources. Fruit Farmers is a very successful company, and I understand that despite the huge pressures of long hours and stressful circumstances that come with the seasonality of their product, they still manage to have a very low turnover of staff. This is apparently one of the secrets of their success. So, do you think we should look into how the company manages to maintain this? I think it could be a very interesting angle. What do you think, John?
Okay, perhaps we could base it on our own particular experiences?
Exactly. Well, the three of you can talk about this today and get back to me tomorrow with your idea.
Before you hear the rest of the conversation, you have some time to look at questions 26 to 30. Now listen and answer questions 26 to 30.
Now tell me, what do you know about fruit farmers? I see here you have written a kind of potted history of the company. Who wrote this? We all did. Fruit farmers sent us some material on the company when they gave us our placement information, so we put it together from that. Okay, let's go through it. I see the company started in 1968. Tell me about it, John.
In 1968, Robert Sanderson started importing bananas from Ecuador and Brazil. It was a one-man business for the first few years. In the early 70s, Sanderson also started importing fruit from the USA, starting with oranges from Florida, and then after heavy investment in new refrigeration technologies, he also started importing delicate strawberries and table grapes from California.
So, did this investment pay off? Yes, massively. It was a very high-risk operation at the time, as any problems or delays with transport could have resulted in the loss of the whole shipments. This was why fruit farmers had so little competition in the early days, but the demand for fruit products was almost endless. If Sanderson could get the fruit to Britain intact, it was certain that it could be sold through supermarket chains, which were also starting up at the time. The company grew quickly, and by the 1980s, fruit farmers had even started buying up fruit farms themselves, which massively increased how much money the company made. For example, they now own 30,000 hectares of strawberry farms in California, and more than double that area in grapevines. It would be interesting to hear about any setback the company did have in the early days, and you might add something about the competition the company has now. Mark, can you continue, please?
By the end of the 1990s, Fruit Farmers had 5,000 employees and was importing fruit to Britain from every continent. The company is still majority owned by the family, though they went on the stock exchange in 2005. Robert Sanderson retired after that, and the company is now run by his two daughters, Carolyn and Joan, and their families.
I suggest adding more information about the financial setup of the company. The family focus is very interesting. This university has had a long affiliation with the company, and we send placements there every year. So I trust that the three of you will represent us well. Make sure you get back to me tomorrow with an idea for your study project.
Thanks for seeing us.
That is the end of part 3.
You now have half a minute to check your answers.
Now turns to part 4.
You will hear a part of a lecture about the development of human speech given at an anthropological conference. First, you have some time to look at questions 31 to 34. Now listen carefully and answer questions 31 to 34.
Many scientists believe that human ability to speak only emerged around 300,000 years ago with the arrival of Homo sapiens and their ability to create a broad range of vowel sounds that previous hominids were incapable of. But a new study on the vocalization of other primates seems to indicate that the timing of the development of speech may be off by several millennia. It is thought that a primary factor in what defines human speech is the presence of contrasting vowel sounds. The different vowel sounds in totally unrelated words like met, meet, moat, mate, and might is all that differentiates them. It would be impossible to build a language without the variety of words that vowel variation supplies, and it had long been believed that only Homo sapiens had that ability. It has now been discovered that some primates that are around today also have the ability to create quite a few different vowel sounds, and we must have inherited this from a common ancestor. The new argument is not that any group of primates developed language at an earlier stage, but that an ancestor that we share with many primates also had the ability to create a wide range of vowel sounds. So this means that the physical ability for speech may have been around for at least 100 times longer than previously thought, and that the idea that an immediate human ancestor may have used speech cannot be eliminated.
Before you hear the rest of the lecture, you have some time to look at questions 35 to 40. Now listen and answer questions 35 to 40.
By analyzing X-ray videos of primate vocal structures, it was discovered that a number of primates were able to make contrasting vowel sounds and could even be physically capable of speech. Different vowel sounds require varying positions of the tongue, lips, and jaw, and for many years, before the X-ray analysis, it was believed that the reason that only humans could produce vowel sounds was because they have a flatter tongue and longer larynx than other primates. This theory was called the laryngeal descent theory. There has never been any doubt that primates could communicate with sounds to get the attention of other members of the group effectively, but speech involves a transfer of information that involves particular words having specific meanings that the recipient can understand. Not only does this require the muscular production of sound using the vocal tracts and the lips, but also a capacity for complex mental activity which only humans have. Comparisons have been made between the abilities of primate species to produce vowel sounds and the construction of their brains. Those who are more closely related to humans tend to be better at creating sounds and have been found to have larger areas of what is called cortical association. These are parts of the brain that receive and decide how to act on sensory information. It was also found that the apes that had the greater variety in the sounds they could produce also had more areas of the brain that controlled the movement of the tongue. It seems that the evolution of human speech was not caused by some evolutionary modification of vocal anatomy, but most likely by changes in the neural structure. A comparison of human genes with other species has highlighted a particular gene found in all animals, called FOXP2. The mutation of this gene in humans can result in problems with learning how to form some mouth movements. This has led some to believe that this particular gene enabled human speech. Where, when, and in which human ancestor species a language-ready brain developed is a complicated and fascinating field for further research. By studying the way our primate relatives, like chimpanzees, use their hands naturally to communicate and can learn human signs, some scientists suspect that language developed first through gestures and was later made much more efficient through speech. Studies of chimpanzees' use of sign language may be a clue to how humans developed speech, and that gestures may have been part of the transition towards speech. Researchers are trying to find out when the cognitive leap took place, but unfortunately, records of speech are not found in archaeological finds. Some brain studies show that tool making and language are processed in the same part of the brain, and it has been hypothesized that the capacity for human speech may have evolved at the same time the earliest stone tools were crafted, some 2 million years ago.
That is the end of part 4.
You now have half a minute to check your answers.
So guys, don't forget like, subscribe and share my YouTube channel and my Facebook page, IELTS updates and recent exams. For more updates related to recent IELTS exam writing test topics, listening, reading, practice test and speaking, you got guesswork. Please guys, participate in everyday new IELTS listening and reading practice tests to achieve your desired band score in your actual IELTS exam. For more IELTS material, visit my official website www.ieltsupdatesandrecentexams.com. The link is given below in the description. If you need PDF files of latest IELTS material, then please join my Telegram channel. So guys, please write your score below the comment section. Again, thanks for listening. God bless you all guys. Stay tuned, stay safe.